All right, guys, so we're going to watch Donald Trump coming out talking about the one big beautiful bill. It passed the Senate, it passed Congress, and now Mike Johnson is bringing it over for Donald Trump to sign. Him and Melania are going to come out now and give a little speech. Let's watch and see what happens. And just remember, everything in this bill is not perfect, but it's no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. You can take a deduction if you get an American-made vehicle and you get a loan on that. American, built in America, made in America. There are so many good things to this bill. While there are some things that are not exactly what everyone wants, Donald Trump is not the one that writes this. It's Congress and the Senate. And all those members, and this is what democracy looks like. If Donald Trump could just write it himself, the White House just write it and say, these are the things I want, this is how much money I need, I guess things would be a lot better, but they're not. And one last thing just to add to this, ICE now has been funded to the extent that out of the biggest countries and the biggest, most powerful funded militaries in the world, ICE would be number 4 now, beneath United States, China, Russia, and I think Canada when it comes to money spent on defense. Quite frankly, ICE is funded to the extent of hundreds of billions of dollars. And that's what we voted Trump in for, mass deportations. And if the Democrats or anyone on that side, the left side of the aisle, doesn't like it, they should remember that literally elections have consequences. And since their approval rating is at about 18%, if I were them, I'd start listening to the other side of the aisle because their nonsense is getting them nowhere. Anyway, let's start watching this and have a good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and First Lady Melania Trump.
Melania is gorgeous. Best, most beautiful First Lady. God, a year ago we had Dr. Jill. Anybody remember what she looked like? MAGA. As fuck. By the way. And I think we're expecting a few of the B-2 bombers and some F-35s fly overhead. And we're going to sit and watch that. In the past, Melania didn't show very much emotion at all. She looks happy. They look happy together. And that's always a good thing. Wonderful First Lady.
Ladies and gentlemen, Master Gunnery Sergeant Kevin Vanier, accompanied by the President's own United States Marine Band, will now honor America with the singing of our national anthem, followed by a flyover consisting of a B-2 Spirit bomber from Whiteman Air Force Base, escorted by 2 F-35 fighters, in honor of all our military personnel who participated in Operation Midnight Hammer and who are currently serving both home and abroad, protecting our nation's freedom.
The B-2 bombers who just dropped 30,000-pound bombs on Iran and knocked the crap out of them.
Hail at the twilight last fresh rise and bright stars through the perilous fight for the rampart was so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular
The bombs bursting.
Gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, save us that star-spangled banner yet wave. For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Anyone who ever knelt for that should be deported. I think the guys that actually did the bombs, the dropping of the bombs in Iran, the Air Force, are in the audience. They're trying to stay on the down low, but they don't want to. They want to be known, and they're there at this event. I'm not sure what they're waiting for, either a flyover or something else about to happen. And then Trump will sign the big, beautiful bill into law. Biggest
Ladies and gentlemen,
tax cuts in the history of the United States of America.
Lady Melania Trump.
Permanent tax cuts, by the way. All right, Melania, go get them.
And that is some sight, especially after what happened just a week ago. You look at that big, beautiful plane, and the other ones were something. It was an incredible mission, and I think I can say very proudly, and I don't have to quote the polls, that our country is more proud right now than it's been in many, many years. We have pride, we have dignity, we have something that's happened miraculously so fast. You know that our military now is the most sought after job there's ever been, serving in our military. 1 year ago, people didn't want to join our military, they didn't want to join our police or firefighters, they didn't want to join anything having to do with our country. And now, as you probably know, the enlistment is at an all-time record. We're packed, we're full. And I just think that's so important, because that was so sad 1 year ago when I heard those statistics. We had a different president, but nobody wanted to join, and now we're at a record. And I will say that
We didn't have a president, we had a puppet.
We had a tremendous experience. They've agreed to put up over $1 trillion a year. They went from less than 2% to 5%, and nobody thought that was possible. And they told me very strongly, the leaders of a big part of the world, respected people all, they told me that, 1 year ago your country was dead, and now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. So that's the way it is, and that's the way we like it. And it's only going to get hotter, I promise you that.
And they're calling him Daddy.
Spectacular display of American power. Let me just say that God bless the United States military, and God bless the USA. God and to all Americans, I want to wish you a very happy Independence Day, happy 4th of July. This is going to be something special. This spirit in this country, we haven't seen anything like it in many, many years and decades. Let me also express our gratitude to our magnificent First Lady. She worked very hard to make this all work. And we have a fireworks display about 9 o'clock tonight. I hope you're all going to be around and watch it. I know our congressmen and our senators who are standing right here, so many of them, they did such a great job. They're going to be here. I guarantee you, they're not leaving. They're not leaving. Thanks as well to the National Park Service, the USO, and countless friends and distinguished guests. We have so many people in the audience that have so much to do with the success of our country. We've, I think, had probably the most successful almost 6 months as a president and the presidency. I think they're saying it was the best 6 months, and I know for a fact they're saying the last 2 weeks there has never been anything like it as far as winning.
Democrats don't know what to
So, as
do.
you know, 2 weeks ago, our incredible Air Force pilots conducted one of the most successful military strikes in all of history, Operation Midnight Hammer, and that's exactly what it was. It was a hammer. This evening, we're honored to be joined by 150 airmen and their families from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, home of the B-2 bomber.
The guys that knocked the shit out of Iran's nuclear sites.
And we've kept them a little bit on guard. We kept them a little bit, let's be a little bit quiet about it. But if you want to raise your hand very quickly, raise your hand, because you people are just incredible. They don't want to be in disguise. You know, they say, we don't have to do that. They're looking at us like we're a bunch of babies. We don't have to be in disguise.
Heroes don't hide.
So all those hands go up. Thank you very much. We owe you everything. Great job. Incredible. Just flawless. One of the most flawless military campaigns in the history of our country. If you remember years ago, they had helicopters crashing into each other. It was a disaster. The hostages in Iraq. And we had just the opposite. We didn't have any crashes. We didn't lose any planes. We didn't lose anybody. Those beautiful planes that you saw were totally stealth. They flew right over the center of a very hostile country, and they never even saw it coming. And then they said, skedaddle. They dropped the bombs. They said, skedaddle. And that big sucker turned over like this on its side, and it got out of there. Well, I'll tell you what, how they do that, but they can do it. I asked our great General Kane, how do they do that?
Raising Cane.
Do they really love doing that? Look at them, they're all laughing. And they said, do they really like doing it, sir? They can't wait. Better you than me. That's all I can say. It was a flawless mission. Every single bomb hit, and it was total obliteration. Total obliteration. Now,
14 30,000-pound bombs. 14.
But they had no choice. That was an incredible thing. And these heroic pilots showed our enemies what it means to fly, fight, and win. To every service member who supported that mission, and we have many of them here. We've made we've made you proud by supporting, but you've made us even prouder by having the courage to get in those gorgeous machines and fly through the roughest airspace anywhere in the world. And we salute you and we honor you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. And we're also honored and delighted to be joined by hundreds of service members and military families. Those families are the best we have from all across the U.S. Armed Forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Space Force. I love the Space Force. You know why? Because we're the ones that did it. It's turned out to be a very invaluable force, actually. The Coast Guard and the Marines are incredible people. On behalf of our entire nation, this 4th of July, we thank you for keeping America safe, strong, sovereign, and free. Thank you very much for being here. Great honor. And stick around for the fireworks.
This is what we voted for.
We've had so much to celebrate this Independence Day as we enter our 249th year. America's winning like never before. We're not, I'll tell you, we're in a category now that's where we've wanted to be for a long time. We suffered with 4 horrible years of embarrassment. Afghanistan may be the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. We're never going to let a thing like that happen again. Trillions of dollars are pouring into the United States for investment purposes. Almost $15 trillion. There's never been anything like it. There's never been anything even close. The stock market's at an all-time high. Jobs are at an all-time high. Everything's at an all-time high, and we're going to keep it that way. We're the greatest country in the world, and we're back. We're back like nobody thought possible this quickly. I thought it would take maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe even 3. And we did it in less than 6 months. We are back and strong. We've restored American strength and deterrence on the world stage. We're respected again. The world is respecting us again. When we did NATO, those leaders came up to me and they said, you know what, we're going to go to a new level of spending because you're requesting it, sir. They didn't talk to your last president like that, I can tell you. They didn't spend any money. They didn't spend anything. In a few moments, we're going to make official the greatest victory yet when I signed the one big, beautiful bill. And before I start, I want to tell you that I've never seen people so happy in our country because of that. Because so many different groups of people are being taken care of, the military, civilians of all types, jobs of all types. We're adding things like the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, a child tax credits. So many things are being added that we wouldn't even have time to discuss them. When we were doing it, John Thune, Mike Johnson right there, I see Mike, what a job they've done. What a job they've done.
Senate leader and the
But you know,
Speaker of the House.
3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 different bills. And I was in one of the fake news shows and I said, let's do it in one beautiful, big, we want one big, beautiful bill. I said that to this newscaster, and I think a lot of the congressmen and senators were watching, and they said, let's name the bill that, one big, beautiful bill. And that's what we did, and what we've done is put everything into one bill. It's never happened before. It's the biggest bill of its type in history. We've never had anything like that before. Nothing like that they thought would be possible to get passed. And actually, I liked it because we had so much in there that no matter who you are, there was something in that bill that would make your congressman or your senator or your congresswoman, much more importantly, raise their hand and support, right, Lisa? So it was something, and it was really something special. So the American people gave us a historic mandate in November. We won everything. We won the swing states, all 7 swing states. We won every one. That rarely happens. We won the popular vote. We won the districts, 2,750 to 505. That's why when you look at a map, it's all red, a little blue on each end, but it's all red. And by the way, red means Republican, just in case. But we made promises, and it's really promises made, promises kept, and we've kept them. This is a triumph of democracy on the birthday of democracy, and I have to say that the people are happy. They're happy. And I listened to a broadcast, and I read a couple of articles. They have the Democrats, they should have voted for it. They didn't vote for tax cuts. They didn't vote for taking care of people. They didn't vote, not one vote. And we knew that because their hatred of either the country or me or both is so great. They didn't vote at all, and it's terrible. But I just have to say, they have a routine. It's terrible, they say. Terrible, terrible. You saw that guy standing up for hours yesterday. He didn't know what he was even doing there.
Hakeem
He
Jeffries.
sitting down, he had a towel, he's wiping his face.
Cheap Obama knockoff.
But what is he, I said, what is he doing for so long? And he couldn't criticize the bill. He was criticizing everyone else and everything else. So they've developed, and this is according to the news media, they've developed a standard line, and we can't let them get away with it. Oh, it's dangerous. Oh, everybody's going to die. It's actually just the opposite. Everybody's going to live. This is just the opposite. And I just want you to know, if you see anything negative put out by Democrats, it's all a con job. And they said, and they compared it to just like the con job of Russia, 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 and all of the other things they did.
Just by the way, if you want to know how a Democrat, if you know he's lying or not, or she's lying or not, if her lips or his lips are moving, Democrat's lying. It's that simple.
The 51 intelligence agents said, and the laptop from hell, it came from Russia, they said. No, it didn't. A lot of things come from Russia. That didn't come from Russia.
One.
And it was all proven out to be a fake job, and that's what they're doing with this. So we just have to look forward, fellas, look forward and just say what it is, because it's the most popular bill ever signed in the history of our country. Whether you're military or anybody else, this is the most popular bill ever signed.
It's just the beginning.
And it includes the largest tax cut in American history, the largest spending cut, $1.7 trillion. And yet you won't even notice it. Just waste, fraud, and abuse in American history. So you have the biggest tax cut, the biggest spending cut, the largest border security investment in American history. We want to have strong borders. And the only thing is, we want to have great elections too. You need strong borders and elections, and my people have promised me that we're going to go into elections and we're going to make sure they're not rigged, that they're not sullied. We're going to make sure that the elections are going to be fair. You need two things. You need strong borders and you need fair elections. And we're going to make sure on the elections also, and our armed forces are one of the most vital military modernizations of all time. It will take place. So we rebuilt our military in our first term, and now we're going to modernize and remodernize our military, including building a great golden dome all over our land, so that if they get nasty with us, it's going to be knocked down. It's going to make any of the golden domes, they call them the iron domes, we're calling ours the golden dome, because we did the iron domes, and we do sort of everything, if you want to know the truth, but this blows it away. We're going to keep you safe. I want to thank every member of the House and Senate who worked to get this bill on my desk, and many of them are here, and I'm not going to mention all their names because we'll be standing here, but I have to mention a few. And especially I want to thank Vice President J.D. Vance, who's been fantastic.
Our next president, maybe.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who's been incredible. We have somebody that is, it was a passion. I think he actually loved it. It wasn't easy, but he loved it. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who's right here. Speaker, thank you very much. What a job, and he worked so closely with the Senate Majority Leader, John Thune, who's a fantastic guy. And those two are a team that is not going to be beat. When you look at them and you look at their counterparts on the other side, it's not even close. I want to thank both of you people for doing an incredible job. Thank you very much, John and Mike. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, a brave man. Steve, you know, he suffered a tragedy a number of years ago. I was at his hospital bedside that night with Melania, with our First Lady, and he had no chance. The doctor said he has very little chance, and you look better today than you did then. You didn't look particularly good that night, I will say. But I learned one thing, his beautiful wife loved him. She was a disaster. Right? I told him, I said, Steve, I can only tell you one thing. I was with your family and I was with your wife, and your wife was devastated. She loves you. I've seen a lot of wives that, you know, they don't seem to be so concerned in those situations, but that's the kind of wife you don't want. But you have a great, beautiful wife who was really there, and you really have done. You're a very brave guy, and Mike and John and everybody that's standing with you knows it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. House Majority Whip, this is a guy who is great. When I have a problem, I call him up and he gets it done. He's a tough cookie. I don't know why he's not the governor of Minnesota. He comes from Minnesota. He's like, oh, look, he goes, no, I don't want to run for governor. You know, come to think of it, I think that's a good idea. You would win so easily. The guy is terrible. You would win. You just have to take a look at that handsome face of yours, and you'd win. Tom Emmer, everybody. He did a great job. I think you should consider that, although we don't want to lose him, do we? We don't want to. Let's say we are. I think say we are. What a job you did. And Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso, who's incredible. Senate Finance Chairman Mike Crapo. Thank you, Mike. What a job. What a job. He knows that tax stuff. Him and Jason, they really know their stuff. Senate Budget Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham. What a good man he is. I see a poll. He's running, and I see a poll. He's 24 points up. That's not bad, Lindsey. That's not bad. 24 points up in the great state of South Carolina. House Ways and Means Chairman Jason Smith. What a job. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. These people are great. These are great patriots. I have to call them out. House Budget Committee Chairman Jody Arrington. Jody, thank you very much. Jody has been good right from the beginning, and so many others, and they're all here. and they fully understand. They'll never speak to me again, but that's okay. It is what it is. But I just want to thank everybody. A lot of senators here, a lot of congressmen and women here. Lisa, thank you very much, by the way. I have to thank you. Thank you very much. You've been fantastic. So this bill will fuel massive economic growth and lift up the hardworking citizens who make this country run. The factory workers, farmers, mechanics, waiters, waitresses, police officers, firefighters, coal miners. Coal is back. Beautiful. I said you can't use the word coal unless you precede it by saying clean, beautiful coal. But China's right now building 68 coal generating plants, and we're putting up wind. It doesn't work, I will tell you. Aside from ruining our fields and our valleys and killing all the birds,
By the way, China sells us all the windmills, all the parts, everything comes from China, but yet China doesn't use that for themselves. They build 2 coal mines a week, 2 coal plants a week, but yet China sells us the crap that doesn't work. Go figure.
being very weak and very expensive, all made in China. I noticed something, that with all of the windmills that China sends us, where we waste our money because it's the most expensive energy, I see that, they make about 95% of them, the wind turbines. I have never seen a wind farm in China.
Well, that sounds familiar.
Somebody check that out. Tom Emmer, would you please check that out? But all the coal miners we love and the truck drivers in this act, we have officially made the Trump tax cuts permanent. That's the largest tax cut in the history of our country.
Can't be changed. Can't be changed
Which is you're going to see like
by some Democrat.
They're setting all sorts of economic records right now, and that's before this kicks in. After this kicks in, our country is going to be a rocket ship economically, and we've delivered no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. And that's why when you hear things like that, this is the most it's the biggest bill of its kind ever done by far. But we are going to have a situation, we are going to have something where people are going to realize the level of success and popularity of this bill. And sort of to close it out, it makes the child tax credit permanent for 40 million American families. And to increase the car affordability, it makes interest on a new car payment. So this had never happened before. You buy a car, you borrow money, you're allowed to deduct for income tax purposes your payment of interest, you're allowed to deduct it. It's never happened before. So run out and buy a car. But I have to tell you, it's only good
an American car.
Made in America. If it's made in another country, you don't get it.
Go get a Dodge, guys. SRT coming back.
Farms and other small businesses, we're eliminating the estate tax or the death tax. So if you want to leave your farm or your small business, but the farms they have been devastated, to your children, if you love your children. By the way, if you don't love your children, don't even listen to what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. But if you love, would you live? Yes, I think you love your child. This one loves Barron. So I don't know if we're a small business. I think we're not. I'm not sure that we qualify. I'm sorry, darling. But it was devastating. Farmers had to go out and borrow money. And by the way, is that Pam Bondi? Pam Bondi, raise your hand. Thank you, Pam, for being here. Attorney General, she's done an incredible job. So there won't be any, think of this.
Only thing I disagree with Trump is Pam Bondi.
Your parents pass away and the farm goes
Need
into
Matt
the bank's
Gates.
hands, it gets foreclosed. That's not going to happen. And with 100% expensing for new investments, we're cutting taxes for every manufacturer who builds, expands.
All right,
And
come
we
on,
have
Trump,
expansion
sign the damn
at
bill.
the highest level that we've ever had it. We have hundreds of factories, including car plants and AI. It's coming into our country at levels that we've never seen. And to conclude, not only will we have the strongest economy on earth, we're also going to have the strongest borders on earth. And last month, did you see the number? 0 people crossed our border. Zero illegal people.
We didn't need
That's after
a law.
21
We needed a new
people,
president.
many of them people from gangs and prisons and drug lords and people that were mentally unbalanced. They let them into our country. We're getting them out at record numbers, and we have an obligation to, and we're doing it. So as we
I just want to make a comment about them deporting, the mass deportations. They've just funded $80 billion to ICE. So now ICE is going to be the largest military force in the United States and probably across the world. These people came in, broke the law. The Biden administration allowed them to just break the law, come right in, unvetted. I don't care what they say, they were unvetted. There's almost 12,000 murderers allowed into the country, some murdered many times, more than once. They came in unvetted with no type of... they just came in. They just walked them straight across with no hearings, with no anything. That's the way they should leave. No process coming in, no process going out. Period. They are illegal in this country. They don't get to appeal. They don't get to do anything. You come in with no process, you leave with no process. And I don't care that ICE wears masks. I don't care that the vans are unmarked. They're picked up off the street and thrown into these vans and removed. And quite frankly, the reason for the masks are because the ICE agents are being doxxed, and they have families and they have lives, and they're in danger because of the Democrats and because of Antifa and the left. They are violent and they will do some pretty bad things. So they're masked up, and that's fine. I thought the left, if you didn't wear a mask and you weren't 6 foot apart, that was against the law a couple of years ago. So now when law enforcement agents wear a mask, it's against the law. There's still people walking around with masks on because of COVID. So it's one or the other, quite frankly. But getting back to it, these people are here illegally. It's a criminal act to come in this country that way. It's not a misdemeanor, it's a felony. And they have no process coming in, no process going out. Period. They just deported a boxer who just fought Jake Paul. He's got arrest warrants in Mexico. He's got ties, apparently, to cartels in Mexico. He overstayed his visa, and because of the warrants in Mexico, he was arrested and he is being deported. Doesn't matter who you are, you do the wrong thing, and it's time to go. This is America, just like any other country. If you're in Mexico, if you're in any country and you overstay your visa, if you're in any country and you break the law, you will be removed. And I've been over and overstayed and told I had to go down to the office down there to reassign to stay longer in another country. You can't just overstay. I was given a certain date. If you don't go down there and fill out some paperwork and they say you can stay longer, you will be removed, and you don't want to be removed from another country because they will throw you in jail first. So, and by the way, Alligator Alcatraz is a beautiful thing, and maybe a lot of people now will think about self-deporting before being sent down there. Just a footnote.
approach the 250th anniversary of America.
All right, sign this damn bill, Trump. Let's go.
We are creating an economy that delivers wealth for the middle class, a border that is sovereign and secure, and a military that is unmatched, unequaled anywhere in the world. And you saw that. And what a beautiful sight that was, especially after watching what they did just a short while ago. The golden age of America is upon us. We are in the golden age. It's going to be a period of time, the likes of which I don't think this country has ever experienced before. We're going to make America great again, and it's happening very fast. We love you. We thank you for being here. Enjoy the fireworks tonight. And First Lady, I want to thank you. You have been unbelievable. You think it's easy being First Lady? It's not.
He keeps tapping her shoulder because she doesn't feel like listening to him talk anymore. It's okay.
Thank you very much, everybody.
They're human and married. Come on, Trump, go sign the damn bill. Let's go. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. Just keep going down the line. Biggest tax cuts in American history, and they are permanent. Some Democrat president can't come back in and steal your money. Long time ago, we fought a war because of tax. And now we just give in and let them tax us. It's a sad thing we forgot. We need to start to remember our beginnings again, how we started off as a country. Sign this bill, Trump. Let's go. Steve Scalise is up there. Mike Johnson, Doug Burgum. Got all the senators, Congress. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, is up there. All the important people. Lindsey Graham snuck up there. I don't know how he got up there. Mike Johnson's right next to him. Steve Scalise is the guy standing right behind Trump's right shoulder. He was shot at a congressional baseball game and almost murdered by a Bernie Sanders supporter. And they call the right, they call us violent. No, it's the left. All right, Trump, let's go. Signing the big, beautiful bill. As soon as that pen stops moving, your taxes go down. The biggest drop in history. And that's permanent now, guys. And don't listen about the Medicaid and Medicare. They're throwing illegals off of the list to bolster and strengthen them. So that way the people who are supposed to get Medicaid, Medicare will get it in perpetuity. Doug Collins. Where's Marjorie Taylor Greene? Where's she at? Come on, Marjorie.
Thank you very much, everybody, and I want to thank the people of the Unbelievable people. Mary, hi, Mary. How's Scott doing? Good job. Scott, how's the coffee? Okay. Wonderful.
Scott Besson is the guy that's in charge of running the economy. I think he's the one that punched Elon Musk in the face and gave him the black eye. Just my opinion, but Scott Besson, very smart guy. One of the best. Lindsey Graham, they should kick his ass right off the stage. I can't stand him. No war that he never loved. That he didn't ever love. He loves war. Doug Burgum, Mike Johnson. Where's Pete? Pete Hegseth. Come on, Pete. Alright guys, well, it's in law now and nobody can change it. It's signed. Go report your tips. Go work overtime. Do whatever you have to do. Go buy an American-made car and write off the expense, the interest. America's back. Be grateful. You may never see anything like this ever again. I'm just glad Trump has kids.